Imagine a world where everything you thought you knew about being human was flipped upside down. This is not about aliens coming to Earth or a new video game. This is about a time in history when people started to think differently about themselves, their world, and their place in it. This time is called the Renaissance, and it changed everything. The Renaissance was like a big wake-up call for Europe. For centuries, people had been living in a world where the church and old traditions told them what to think and believe. The church was so powerful that it controlled almost every aspect of life, from what people read to how they lived. But then, something amazing happened. People started to rediscover ancient texts from Greece and Rome, and these texts made them see the world in a whole new way. One of the most important things these ancient texts taught was that humans were special. They weren't just sinners who needed to be controlled by the church. Instead, they were capable of great things, creativity, art, and deep thinking. This idea was so powerful that it started a revolution in how people thought about themselves and the world around them. The Renaissance began in Italy, a place that was rich in art, culture, and ideas. Italian scholars like Leonardo Bruni and Gennaro Manetti wrote about the dignity and excellence of human beings. They argued that humans should be free to explore their natural talents and interests. This was a big change from the medieval idea that humans were born with original sin and needed strict rules to keep them in line. One of the most famous works from this time is the Oration on the Dignity of Man by Giovanni Pico della Mirandola. In this speech, Pico said that humans have the unique ability to shape their own destiny. He believed that humans could choose to be great or to fall into evil, but the choice was theirs. This idea of human choice and potential was revolutionary. The Renaissance wasn't just about ideas. It was also about education. People realized that to truly understand the world, they needed to study a wide range of subjects. This led to the creation of new universities and the reform of old ones. Scotland and Ireland, even though they were poor, established universities like St. Andrews, Glasgow, Aberdeen, and Trinity College, Dublin. These universities produced many brilliant minds who went on to shape the intellectual life of the British Isles. At the same time, other parts of Europe were also changing. New universities were founded in places like Genoa, Munich, Uppsala, Tübingen, Copenhagen, Valencia, Santiago, Wittenberg, and Frankfurt and der Oder. These universities were different from the old medieval ones. They focused on the humanities subjects like literature, philosophy, and history, rather than just medicine, law, and theology. The new professors, called humanists, believed that the humanities were more important than other subjects. They thought that understanding the great works of the past would help people become better and more complete individuals. One of the most important humanists was Conradus Celtis, who was appointed to a prestigious academic chair in Vienna. He established the Sodalitas Danubia, a center for humanistic studies, and became known as the arch-humanist. One of the most important figures in the spread of Renaissance ideas was Aldus Manutius, an Italian printer. Manutius was passionate about making ancient texts available to more people. He invented italic type and used it to publish a series of Greek classics. Between 1498 and 1512, he published works by Aristotle, Theocritus, Aristophanes, Thucydides, Sophocles, Herodotus, Euripides, Homer, and Plato. These books were like a treasure trove of knowledge, and they helped spread the ideas of the Renaissance far and wide. The Renaissance also had a big impact on art. Artists like Leonardo da Vinci, Michelangelo, and Raphael created works that celebrated the beauty and potential of the human form. Their art was more realistic and focused on human emotions and experiences. This was a big change from the medieval art, which often focused on religious themes and symbols. The Renaissance also led to the development of new scientific ideas. People started to question old beliefs and look for new ways to understand the world. This led to the scientific revolution, which would eventually change how people understood nature and the universe. But the Renaissance wasn't just about big ideas. It was also about everyday life. People started to value individuality and personal expression. They began to dress differently, write poetry, and engage in debates about philosophy and politics. This new way of thinking spread through Europe, and it changed how people lived and interacted with each other. The Renaissance even had an impact on religion. Some people, like Thomas More, started to criticize the church for its rigid rules and lack of focus on human potential. More wrote that studying scholastic philosophy was as useful as milking a he-goat into a sieve. This criticism of the church would eventually lead to the Protestant Reformation, a major religious movement that would change the course of European history. In the end, the Renaissance was a time of great change and innovation. It showed that humans have the power to shape their own destiny, and that the past can be a source of inspiration and knowledge. The ideas of the Renaissance continue to influence us today, from the way we think about art and science to the way we value individuality and personal growth. So, the next time you read a book, create a piece of art, or think about a big idea, remember that you are part of a long tradition that started during the Renaissance. It was a time when people dared to think differently, and their ideas changed the world.